Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Let me first, through you, send my good wishes to the Speaker on his birthday and add my name on that. Because there's a long queue. The people are wishing him the happy birthday, and I think it is important as well. Mr. Deputy Speaker, 2.5 years ago, this House last debated Kashmir. And this is only the second debate in nearly 20 years. I must declare that I'm the chair of the Indo-British All-Party Parliamentary Group, a person of Indian origin who born in India, studied there, and come here now. I don't know how many of you have visited Kashmir. I think in my own life, from my school days until now, I have visited Kashmir 14 times. So I'm quite familiar with the economic, social, and political conditions of that place. I'm not saying anything hearsay with any vested interest or ill-informed information. I'm saying that because I have seen practically what is happening, what has happened, what is the political situation over there. After listening to previous speakers, I feel sad that we are bringing the issues which are not linked at all, not happening the way you are presenting it. Look at the political situation, and I strongly support wherever the violation of human rights. For the last 45 years, I have canvassed, campaigned on the human rights issues. Where India has violated human rights, I have criticized. I have criticized India many times on many other traditions happening where the Indian government or the Indian people failed to tackle it. So that's where I feel strongly that the way we are debating Kashmir issue today, the questions are raised are untrue and not relevant to the situation.
Would my honourable friend give way? I thank my honourable friend for giving way. Does he accept, and he mentions that he's visited the place 14 times, but does he accept that the Indian authorities make it exceptionally difficult for British members of Parliament to actually visit that part of the world?
I'm sure that it is happening. The reason is that when you wanted to go and visit a place, you must be free of any prejudices before you go. If you have declared beforehand what you think is happening there, and you publicly denouncing that, no government, you name it, give me one example that which government has allowed people to go to the countries where before you criticize them. Yes.
I thank the honourable member, who is well respected in this House, for his expertise. Does he at least accept that by speaking up against human rights violations in any country, one is not necessarily against that country?
Can I just help members? You're going to speak very shortly. The danger is you're going to take time off somebody else by their interventions. I don't mind having the debate, but just recognise we want to treat everybody equally. Virendra Sharma.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm not saying that is the way you present the argument is right. No government, no authorities will allow you to do when you are not free of your own rights. No, I think I carry on. I'm sure you will be speaking later on. I'm sure you will be speaking later on. Yeah.
They allowed me in. I criticise.
Okay.
I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. My honourable friend, I am chair of the Justice for Colombia group in Parliament. I criticise the Colombian government time and time again. They let me into their country, where I criticise them again.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, if we look at the history, what is happening since 1947, after 1948, when the line of control was declared, when it was ceasefire, India and Pakistan, which we on one side are advocating that should be part and parcel of that negotiations, has attacked India in 1965, 1971 to change that line of control. But again in 1999, Pakistan tried to seize an opportunity to redraw the internationally accepted line of control. It's 3 times. It's 1965, 1971, and 1999. Having been unsuccessful in full-scale military maneuvers to take control of more Kashmir, certain subversive elements within the Pakistani government have instead, since the millennium, turned towards terrorism to further their aims. In 2004, Pakistan made a public commitment to prevent terrorist groups using their territory to plan, prepare, or launch attacks against India. Since then, the Pakistani spy agency, ISI, has been heavily implicated in India's most notorious terrorist incidents, most notably the 2008 Mumbai attacks, which left nearly 200 dead. This behavior, I will come on the Kashmir as well, but I'm giving the background of that. This behavior is regularly seen across Kashmir, where while the line of control is demarked, fighters from Pakistan attacks across the state. These terrorist atrocities are perpetrated only to destabilize the region. They do not help the people of Kashmir. They don't make anyone stronger. They only further the misery of millions. Since the 1948 riots, there has been an attempt to cleanse the region of native people opposed to Pakistan intervention. In the 1990s, we saw the most sustained civil activity aimed at driving Kashmiri Pandits from the Kashmir Valley. Whereas 250,000 Pandits lived in Kashmir in 1947, there are now only around 20,000 remaining. The majority now live in squalid camps in Jammu, desperate to return to their homelands, unwilling to settle elsewhere, and prejudice their right to return. The threat of communal violence looms large, an ever-present threat for millions. This is why we see images of soldiers across Kashmir. They are there to protect citizens of all stripes. People who want to go to work, school, or university are only allowed to do so under the protection of the Indian Army. Without the protection of Indian troops, we can see too easily what happens. Horrifying stories of brutality from Peshawar school attacks that left over 132 school children dead, or the assassination attempts on Malala would not be so uncommon. Very few members of this House would have done anything but affirm the actions of the British Army in trying to maintain the status quo in Northern Ireland. The Army is there to ensure to protect the border as they did in Ulster, and just like they did in Belfast, to make sure that young boys and girls from Catholic and Protestant families can continue to live the lives they want to. I know the National Human Rights Commission of India have been free to criticize and call for punishment when the rule of law has not been upheld to a rigorous standard. This is not a level of freedom allowed to these residents in Pakistan, recognized as the world's leading sponsor of terrorism. Mr. Deputy Speaker, European Parliament observers had this to say: following the state elections in 2014. I will be very soon.
Can I just say to the gentleman? We're now on 10 minutes. We're now on nearly 11. I did say 8. We're well over. Please, if you could. It's a very important matter, but I want to make sure everybody gets their voice heard. Virendra Sharma.
By working every day for a safer, more prosperous Kashmir, the Indian government is fulfilling its commitment. The people desire a life unblemished by random acts of terror, where they are free to pursue their own dream of education, employment, and peaceful life. Why must we again listen to hyped media accusations rather than looking at the evidence of patterns of peaceful elections? Thank you.
Steve Beck.